Welcome to the Barry Charles Footy Show, your one-stop shop for everything rugby league. How are you doing there today? Brenko Lee is on his way out the door as he decides he's off to the Super League. Obviously, he is an inaugural Dolphin, but didn't really have much impact on their season at all. So we say see you later to Brenko Lee. But on this episode, we are going to talk about, who is the big key players for your team going into this week's finals. Who is the players that really need to lift or go to that other level to make your team a chance to be premiers in a month's time? Yes, let's get to it. We're going to pick out all your star players in each of your teams and see who can get it done for you in finals time. Let's get to it here at the Barry Charles Footy Show. Yes, well, first off, we got Friday night football. Yes, Broncos versus Melbourne Storm. So we got Broncos. Yes, Broncos. We're going to talk about Broncos first for you, all your Broncos fans at home. Well, there's quite a few key players in a lot of these teams, obviously, but let's have a look at them. Reece Walsh, okay, the gun fullback of the competition. There is no doubting that. There is a lot of good fullbacks in the competition, but he is the number alpha dog at the moment. Absolutely, he is taken over as the number one player in front of Tedesco. There's no doubt about that. That doesn't mean he's going to be playing fullback for Kangaroos. I think he should, but they are going to stick with Tedesco from what I can gather. But Reece Walsh is one of the key players. He is the spark for the Broncos. He's the spark player. He's the one that comes up with the big plays for the Broncos. Adam Reynolds is clearly the architect of this team. So you need the Reece Walsh and you need the architect of Adam Reynolds with his kicking game. The general, hasn't played for much of the last month, so he's only played one game in the last 5 games, so he needs to go big. And then obviously up front, Patrick Carrington and Payne Haas. These are the 4 key players for the Broncos. If these 4 players play very well, you will see the Broncos in the grand final in 2023. No doubt about it for me. The interesting selection of no Corey Oates, no surprise to me. Jesse Arthur's been playing good football. He played good football at the Warriors when he was at the Warriors as well last season. So that's no surprise to me. So not a biggie for me. But also you've got Tristan Saylor in the background. Does he want to stay around? He obviously re-signed, but does he want to stay around? Let's get to the Storm, the Melbourne Storm. Well, yes, clearly it's always the spine with the Melbourne Storm. It's always been pretty much since Craig Bellamy's taken over. So now the spine, we've got Nick Meaney, Harry Grant, Cameron Munster, and Jahrome Hughes. So this is all the key. This is the keys to the puzzle. This is the keys to get this going. They are absolutely... Jahrome Hughes back will be very good. Cameron Munster, can he go to another level? He has been a bit disappointing this year. He's been a bit lackluster. Can he go to another level? Even in Queensland, he wasn't that great. They need something more from him. But for outside of these, obviously the X factor is Pappenhausen, clearly off the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts. If it's not this week, maybe next week. Next game he plays. Ryan Pappenhausen comes into the starting lineup. I think they just give him Nick Meaney because he's been there all year. But I think Ryan Pappenhausen with a bit more fitness will be ready to rock and roll soon at fullback. But a key player for me is Katoa. He's been very good for them this season, and he is the old... Well, I wouldn't say Steve means he's not scoring enough tries to get up to that level, but that's the type of player he could be heading towards. Katoa, just running those nice ball lines, ready to score tries like Ryan Hoffman was doing at the Storm, so he's sort of taking over that flag. Yes, Saturday afternoon football. Yes, go the Warriors. Yes, I will be there supporting the Warriors against the Penrith Panthers. Now, the Penrith Panthers clearly are the team to beat. There's no doubt about it. They are a well-oiled machine, and the Warriors are going to have to come with a big game to beat them. But clearly, the architect of this team is Nathan Cleary. But to me, there's a few players that are really... I'm going to go for players that have gone to another level this season. Stephen Crichton, he has been absolutely brilliant. He's played well for New South Wales, and he's been one of their best all season. Taruva's played very, very good football, no doubt about it. He has been the key linchpin in this team. And obviously Dylan Edwards in the back has been super, super consistent over the last 4 or 5 years. The most consistent player in the comp, to be honest. He's been absolutely outstanding. And he will probably be left out of Australian team again this year, but he absolutely playing great football and could get another Clive Church medalist this season. And obviously up front, James Fisher-Harris and Leota. But for me, the biggest key to the Panthers, and this could be their downfall, I thought of this at the start of the season, it's in the hooking role. Mitch Kenny has done a good job, but can he go to that next level against the top teams? Wade Egan might have a little bit of an edge on him here, and that's where the Warriors will need to attack him. Mitch Kenny hasn't played for a while. That's my only concern. But outside of that, the Panthers look the best defensively. Absolutely can't. The Warriors are going to have to pull up and wrap it out of the hat. Speaking of the Warriors, well, clearly the key man on this team is Shaun Johnson. He is the star. He is the rock and roll star of this team. He is the gun. But he is playing the Cooper Cronk type football that we've been wanting him to play for a long, long time. He's finally brought that into his game this season consistently. He's ready to rock and roll. He's had a rest. He's ready. And he is the pivotal. He is the chance to beat the Panthers and to go further into this competition. If there any chance, it has to be on him. Obviously, for Noah Blake and Tohu Harris are the key linchpins in the front row. They absolutely have to deliver. But yeah, a few things for me who need to have a big series. I'm going a bit out of cue here. Me, it's the centres. Rocco Berry and Adam Pompey. They have been the defensive lancers, the people that drop the ball. If these two players turn up and play excellent footy, look out, the Warriors can win this premiership in 2023. If those two players, especially those two players, you get add Montoya to their list, if they can leave the fumbling behind and play beautiful, consistent footy, the Warriors have a big chance of taking the premiership in 2023. Now getting to the Saturday night game between the Sharkies and the Roosters. Now, obviously there's a bit of debate here as why they're playing at Shark Park when you can only get about 13,000 in with the construction side. To me, it's craziness. They shouldn't be playing there at all. It should be Acor or Combank Stadium, whichever one you want to put. They're not. You could argue you could go to Jubilee if you want to go down the road somewhere. Go down there. So, yeah. Why not just go there? But that's another thought. No one talked about just moving there. But yeah, to me, playing at a Shark Park is just a waste of time. Leaving out a lot of people from going to the game. But that's here and then. But the Sharkies, well, obviously Nico Hines is the key player now. Is Nico Hines going to play fullback? Is Will Kennedy going to play fullback? Or is Connor Tracy finally going to play? It's going to be an interesting dilemma, but I don't think it's going to matter. They're going to need something. Nico Hines, if he does not deliver, game over. But for me, it's up front. This is my worry for the Sharkies. Their forward rotation is just not up there. Obviously, Niokora is going to have to play good. Cameron McGuinness are going to play good. But the props are going to have to go. Uwali, these sort of players are going to have to go to another level. They have to go boom up the middle. This is where I think the Roosters will have them for breakfast. And this is the problem the Sharks have. So the forward pack is going to have to go to another level. Otherwise, they're going to be bye-bye after this weekend. The Roosters, well, they are probably, outside of the Knights, the most dangerous team in the bottom 8. Clearly, they have the talent to go all the way to the premiership. I mean, you've got Carey in your team. Consistency. Sam Walker is the X factor, clearly. James Tedesco's got back to his best footy last few games he's had, so he's really rocketing into form at the right time. Brandon Smith had a good game. I mean, Victor Radley, to me, he could go to another level. To me, he's been a bit ho-hum. He needs to go to another level. Lindsay Collins has been playing good football, and he's going to have to continue to play good football if they're going to go. And obviously, Sualihi has been very good for this team. He's been playing good football, and he's key to the chances of the Roosters going all the way in the premiership for me. Now, last game, Newcastle versus Raiders. Everyone is saying Newcastle have got this for breakfast, and maybe they do, but the Raiders are just that team that can go into a grind, and if you go into the grind with them, they can come out on top. Yes, and what better way to do it than at McDonald's Stadium? But yes, Newcastle Knights for me. Clearly, Kalyn Ponga is the key to the castle here. Question marks how fit he's going to be, and if he can get through the game, that's going to be the question mark. Should be a lot of pressure from the Raiders early. We'll see how that works out for them. But if Kalyn Ponga's at his best, they'll be belting this team. But the Raiders have a funny way of suffocating you, so it's going to be an interesting game there because of their rush defence, so there's pressure. Jackson Hastings, clearly a key player on this side. Dominic Young on the wing. Haven't talked about many wingers, but he has been one of their key players. Bradman Best, I think he needs to maybe go to a little bit of another level. Been a little bit of a lull, so he needs to go to another level. Brandon, and in the front row, Daniel Safiti. Yes, the Safiti brothers need to go to another level. They have not been the strongest this season. They really need to go up a level. Crossland, can he go to another level? If he wants to be up with the chances of making the grand final, he's going to have to step up and go a higher level. A lot of players do. Tyson Brissell, you know what you're going to get from him. The Canberra Raiders, well, to me, as I've heard a few people say, they need to bring the emotion. And that emotion is Jack White into 6, Jarrod Croker the 3. Don't waste your time with anyone else. I think this is going to happen. I really think Jarrod Croker is going to play centre. He should play centre. They need his experience. They need that emotion that he is retiring. They need it all as they take on the Knights to go, let's go, one up them. I don't know what's happening with him not playing in the team, but Jarrod Croker has to be in that team for mine if there's any chance to win this game. And outside of that, I obviously know Josh Papali'i. So Tapane has to lead this team around in the forwards. He has to go to another level. And Tom Starling probably has to get another level as well, because that's probably one position they're struggling with. As well as Jamal Fogarty. He needs to go to another level if there's any chance of going deep into the finals in 2023. Anyway, that's the Barry Charles Footy Show. Thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully your team wins on the weekend. But I'll be back tomorrow with more talk about rugby league. Have a great day out there.